everyone. Thanks so much for taking your lunch hour or around that lunch hour time with us today to talk about CSEP certification and redesignation. I am Jody Paulson. I am the chair of the International Certification Committee for ILEA HQ. And I am joined today with a number of our committee members and or board of governors and some CSEPs around North America that have offered to share some insight into their experience in recertification, some tips that have been useful to them, and we will end off with a few questions. First up, we want to do some self-introductions, and then we'll let Corrine Kessels share a little bit about the new exam update. So yeah, we just go around the room. Maybe we can start with, end off with Corrine, since you're going to go right into exam stuff. But if maybe Alex Armstrong, who's from Edmonton, can say hello.
Hi everyone, my name's Alex, as Jody said. I've been on the board, well, a bunch of ILEA things since like 2011, and a CSEP since 2013. Jody and I did ours the same year, didn't we?
Yeah, I think so, pretty close, yeah.
Just recertified last year, and happy to share any experiences. Glad to be here.
Thank you, Alex. Jen Poyer.
Hi there, Jen Poyer, CSEP. I'm on the ILEA Board of Governors and have been involved with CSEP development, both on the exam side and on the committee side for, I think, the past several years. I originally got my CSEP back in 2009 and have been through a couple of exam re-overhauls now. And after doing my first recertification, I swore that I would never do it that way again. And so I am committed to helping make people make their recertification a lot easier and less painful. So here to help.
And Ruth?
Hi, Ruth Wyckoff-Jones, CSEP. I certified originally back in 2008, right after the exam went from a paper exam to online.
Oh, wow.
And have now recertified twice, recertified 2 years ago now, and am excited to be on the CSEP committee for my second year, and I've held various leadership positions both in the local chapter and internationally, so happy to help out.
Thank you. And Sarah?
Hi, Sarah Cisno, CSEP. I'm based in Washington, D.C. I am a member of the Board of Governors, and I'm also the Board of Governors liaison to the CSEP committee. And I first received my certification in 2013, and then I recertified in 2018. And similar to Jen, I have taken notes on how to do things a little bit differently for next time. For my future self. And also, just as a side note, I did take advantage of the extended deadline or the late deadline. So I can speak to what that feeling was like.
Excellent, excellent. Before we move over to Corrine, there are a couple of other committee members, part of the certification committee that are on the line. Rachel Gilmore, CSEP from Toronto, Ontario in Canada. Hey, Rachel.
Hi.
And Armando Celadon, CSEP from, Southwest, right? San Antonio.
San Antonio.
Yay. Also on the committee, and I think that's it. Did I miss anyone on the committee? I don't think so. So Corrine, if you would like to introduce yourself and then give us an update on the exam. Let's go.
Sure. So my name is Corrine Kessel, CSEP. I'm also the president-elect for International Board of Governors. I first took my exam in 2012, and we had a power outage about 3 hours in. So there was me and another Vancouverite that were in agony of whether or not our exam results would have been lost to that point. They weren't, so we got to, after we waited about 45 minutes, we were about able to go back in, but it was, yeah, it was pretty heart-wrenching there for a bit. And I recertified in 2018, and I actually I recertified, like it probably took me 30 minutes. I did it really quickly. So I know a lot of people try to overachieve and get 90 points and you only need 25. So I just went, what are the easiest 25? And it's like boom, boom, boom. And so I'm also happy to help with recertification of how to make it easy for yourself. So in terms of the exam, so we've moved to a new platform, which allows for remote proctoring. So that's the biggest change. So instead of going to these testing centers where the power can go out, you are able to take the exam anywhere that you have a computer and a camera. So you need to have a webcam, or you'll have to do another device like a phone or an iPad or something where you can have a camera. So that's the difference. The big difference is for where you can take it. So you can take it anywhere. The exam is a fully multiple choice at this point. So it's a bit longer. And of the multiple choice section, we have, I believe it's 116 questions, Jen, is that where we ended? 116 questions for this first exam form. And it takes into, so the way it works is a breakdown of knowledge comprehension questions, which are sort of the basic questions, more what the multiple choice used to be, where it's like very definition sort of driven. So there's a small component that is still like, what is this thing? Then there's application questions where you take that knowledge and then you're applying it. So like, which of these things would you use in a certain way? Then there's a whole level of questions that are critical thinking questions, which are more of, what would the event professional choose to do in this type of situation? So it's more, you're really thinking about the things, you're applying it, and then you're picking a sort of a way of doing things versus just naming the tool that you would be using. There's independent questions. So there's questions that, so it just has the question is right there. You see all the information, and then the question is there. Then there's what we call case questions. So this is in essence sort of a way tying back to how we had the essay questions, where you get a bigger block of text in an event outline. So there'll be an event outline with, here's details of the event, and then there'll be a number of questions that relate back up to that case. So there'll be anywhere from 3 to 9 questions that would relate with that case. So then it could ask, so within that case, one of the questions might be a knowledge comprehension question, one might be an application question, one might be critical thinking. So it's a bit more robust of a situation where you're tying that information back to things. There's photos. So some of it you might see a floor plan or a photo of something, and the question would relate to that. It might also be one of those, a photo or a graphic might be embedded within a case. So again, different, that's something we're in the future that we'll be able to explore more and get more visuals and more things incorporated. But there's definitely, there's questions that have that in there already. That's a basic exam structure. Is there any questions about that part of it? So then the exam windows. So then right now we got October 1st to 31st is our first exam window. In order to determine a passing grade, we need a sort of a key amount of people, as many people as we can get in there. In order to quickly get exam results, once we get past that stage where we've established the passing score, then we can move to a different type of testing model, perhaps 365. We can increase the testing windows, things like that. But until we get the pass score determined, we will have to have testing windows. So but the idea is that we can eventually move to a 365-day model so that you can take your exam at any point and you can take it anywhere. So anywhere, anytime is the end goal. The cost is $350 for the application fee and $350 for the exam fee. So if you don't, happen to not pass on your first attempt, your second attempt is then just $350. And then you can reschedule your exam fee as much as you need. The timelines for this first exam period, we're hoping to have everybody who wants to take it in October to have scheduled their exam and sent in their application by September 15th. In general, we need about 3 weeks, 2 to 3 weeks to schedule it with the remote proctors, plus the CSEP certification committee will need time to review the applications. So those are fairly quick. It'll be much faster than it used to be in terms of the timeline. So, you know, reasonably would be within a month, 3 weeks to a month that you could put in your application to having your exam scheduled. I think that's all I was supposed to cover. Is there any questions, information I can provide that's helpful?
I have a question.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Deanna.
Hi, Deanna.
At what point do I become emeritus?
Well, that's a great question. And that
That's a loaded question, Deanna.
I am on the task force, which deals with the new exams. Jody's directly to this direction on my screen. That would be for her.
I thought I'd already met the criteria.
So
yeah, we have. I mean, what I can say is the commit like from last year.
I know I look young.
Yeah, we pulled it down because we need to reevaluate it. So when I was on the committee a year ago, that we sort of we closed it. But I will let Jody talk to what future plans are.
yeah, so it was that particular discussion was put on the back burner until the new exam was finalized, and it has just resurfaced now this season. And what we are talking about is reevaluating what that criteria is. So we want to be able to review it as a committee, bring it to the Board of Governors for review and acceptance, and then we can move forward. But at this point, we're reevaluating it, and the program itself has been suspended until we can make a further announcement. We're hoping to be able to do that relatively quickly. I think the next Board of Governors meeting is in October, so we're hoping to have that proposal to them in time for that meeting. Is that right, Corinne? That time?
I think there's a September one end of, isn't there, Jen?
Oh,
Third week of September.
Okay,
Third week of September, I believe.
Deadline to put something forward for that one. So I think
You'll still have time.
Oh yeah,
still have
okay.
time. Oh yeah.
So,
Probably
so
till
we are-
mid-September.
yeah,
I
and
think
so
originally that was you recertified so many times until you reached a certain age, and then you become emeritus. Well, you don't have to certify every 5 years.
right, and so we're deciding whether or not what the term emeritus means. Someone who has retired and is no longer practicing, and so that we're trying to align them with the strategy or what's the word? We're trying to make it so that the term emeritus is actually used in conjunction with retirement. And so
Right.
we just want to make sure that that's very clear in the program description, and then how we move it forward, and when's the applications, and is there an age barrier or not, or is it retirement and inactivity? So we need to sort those criteria out and then go through a few steps before we can make sure that everyone's on the same page, and then we'll announce it.
So I need to recertify until you announce it.
Are you coming up? Are you due, Deanna?
Well, I just don't even remember. I just got a notice, or somebody called me about recertifying.
Okay.
And I haven't even, this popped up on my calendar to do today. And I could find out real quick.
Yeah.
But
and
yeah,
are you still working?
Oh yeah, I'm still working, and I was gonna start, in my mind, and with everything that I've learned over the years, and I was to certify one more time, and then I'd be emeritus, because I'm 63 and I plan to retire in a few years.
Okay.
I'm semi-retired now.
Yeah,
I am jealous, Deanna. I am super jealous.
and according to the previous guidelines, there was an age.
Yeah, I'm due
age.
because it says expiration date November 30th, 2020.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
yeah.
So my recommendation would be to recertify because you are still working, and you wouldn't necessarily fall in line with the term emeritus. And so, with the program being suspended, that would be my recommendation to recertify. And we're hoping to have the program revamped and approved. Very short order, November 30th. I don't know. I don't know how long things usually take to get through. So is it
Well,
doable?
just whoever's making the decision should remember that, you know, having to recertify and keep your certification in your 70s, you know, is like a lot.
Yeah.
So, the emeritus was, I mean, that was like a big thing for me. And I've been in the CSEP since 2003, I think. So.
Okay. Well, that's great.
I'd like to retire with my designation.
Yes. Great. I did fail to introduce Brian Reach, who is our ILEA HQ representative, and he takes care of all the back end. He does databases, and he manages a lot of stuff for us. Often the communications will come from Brian as well. Thank you very much for that, Deanna. I will make sure that those comments are moved forward and that we keep that in mind as we're revamping that program.
Okay.
We'll work really hard to get that done quickly.
Thank you.
Thank you for your question.
So then let's just move on to the one-time recertification program for lapsed CSEPs. So any CSEPs that have lapsed within the past 3 years, we're giving them the opportunity at this point to come back into the fold by paying a reapplication fee and adhering to the same criteria that is part of the statement, with the addition of 2 extra points in sustainability, an additional 4 extra points in continuing education and professional development in order to qualify. And so we're going from 25 points required to 29 points required for those that are coming back into the fee. This is a one-time offer that will expire on December 31st, 2020. And are there any questions about that particular program specifically?
No.
Okay. If you know of any CFCPs that have lapsed, you can let them know about that particular program. We are reaching out to all of them individually, but yeah, we are looking to build the community back up and invite them back into the designation. So let's then move on to recertification and how things work. So the renewal timelines are as follows. You've probably all started getting notifications, so that's why you're here. And so the deadline is November 30th to have your application in. The sooner the better. Each of those applications are reviewed by the CSEP committee, and there are a number of people up for renewal. I think we have 80 people up for renewal this year. So if everyone waits till November 30th, it will take a little bit of time for us to get through those. So the sooner you can get to it, the better. And probably the quicker your turnaround time in hearing that your application has been reviewed. After that November 30th deadline, there's a short window of a late application, which an additional $50 fee, and all the fees are in US dollars. So I think additional $50 from December 1st to 31st. And then after January 1, you would need it's an additional $100 for a reinstatement fee that expires by at the end of February. You're out of luck. You have to do the whole thing over again. So try to get your stuff in a timely fashion. And did I miss anything? Corinne, Jen, anyone else? Any questions about that?
Yeah.
Was it $350 to recertify? $350? Is that what you said?
The recertification fee?
Yeah.
What? Where is that? Does anyone know off the top of their head? Is it $350 again? I thought it was $200.
Yes, I believe it's 200, and then as you get into the late and the reinstatement, then the fees.
Okay.
Yeah, so if you get in before
Okay.
November 30th.
I thought I heard $350. Sorry. Thank you.
$350 is the one-time reinstatement fee. Yeah. So we did do a couple of changes to the application for recertification. They mostly revolved around sustainability because the sustainability points included in previous years the grading of CSEP exams, which of course we don't have to do anymore because it is automated through our new platform on Yardstick. The exams that you graded up until the last intake in, I think, grade done by March. Any of those still qualify, and you can put those towards your sustainability points. And we've created 2 new opportunities. A session like this gives you points, and then a session on the new testing would also give you additional points. Job verification, we changed that as well. It asked for a whole bunch of different tax forms and stuff before, and now a letter from your employer is completely acceptable. And if you're a contractor, letters from clients showing that you are in the business are also acceptable. Professional development, I think we changed some of the points SKUs there. And formal education, we also changed some of the point allocations. Another way to get sustainability points is to become a CSEP ambassador, or to do speaking engagements, or to write articles. So there is plenty of opportunity to get those points that are required in that area. And we already talked about cost. Are there specific about any of the sections?
Oh yeah, there's lots of questions about all the sections, but with the job verification on the application, it just says it's send your CV or resume. It doesn't say you need to have an employer's note. So what do you need from the employers?
Okay. I thought that you still needed.
You still need to provide like a T4 or some sort of proof of income from an employer.
I just need to know what it is so I can grab it. It says designee will have a minimum of 3 years of variable full-time experience in the industry, either as a freelancer or formal capacity during the recertification program. You must attach your current CV or resume and include your job description or business description, including the products and services you provide. For freelance work, a letter of reference from a client is required. So I just need to know what I need to grab from my employer.
Well, and so I am the employer. So what do I do? Present like a tax return or something?
You would present a letter of recommendation from a client.
Got it.
And for
And
corporate?
And yeah, just a verification that from your employer that you're currently employed. Nicole.
Thank you.
So you have to do the exam. Okay, so Brendan asks, he missed reinstatement because he didn't correct any exams. And so you must be within that window for you to hear about this particular thing. And so if you would still need to have enough points within the sustainability section. And like I said, you can get those points through other areas.
Or, I mean, that other option is too, that they can retake with the reinstatement. Like, you can do the points, or if you just want to take the new exam for this one-time reinstatement option, that's what we're allowing to happen this year. So you do have, Brendan, that that option for either putting together your points in your standard recertification with the extra bonus points on there, or just taking the exam when it comes out in October.
All right. I'm chiming in now. I think I have a lot of points. Oh, I'm Brendan from Trinidad and Tobago in the Caribbean, you guys.
Yay for a CSEP in the Caribbean.
So I think I have a lot of points. I lecture events. I'm currently writing an event book.
Yeah.
I have an event company, and I've been doing this for the past 16 years. So as a producer, I didn't have time to correct any exams in that whole 5 years. Or I didn't actually make an effort to. Sorry. But now that this option is coming up, I'm very excited, and thank you guys for having this meeting. What I'm really excited about is, one, I want to just make sure that I understand the cost. So I want to be reinstated. I have plenty points, and so basically I just have to send you guys my portfolio once more.
You have to fill out that recertification, that reinstatement application form, and then show all the points, and then you would, any of the supporting documents, you would send those as well.
Okay. Well, I sent one the last time, and it's a little I'll upgrade it then. In other words,
yes.
Yes.
I'll just update it.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly.
Can we go over sustainability points? Because I was set to set all my stuff in February, but I needed one more grade exam that I've been trying to get over the last 4 years. I've gotten one time to be able to do it. So now I'm a point short on sustainability because of the rewrite. So can we go over how you get involved with this? What is qualified for this?
Yeah, so you can use those points that those 4 point, whatever the points that you already have. And then there's usually what they're going to have is in the fall, they'll have an opportunity for to earn 2 points as well. So you can participate in one of the activities, or if there's something else.
So fall, if I need to have this in by November.
And your two
I need one more point.
One more point.
In sustainability. I have everything else.
Because you only need 2 points.
Right, I've only had 2 grades, so that's 1 point, and I need another point.
So is there an opportunity for you to do a speaking engagement about CSEP within your local network? Are you an ILEA member?
I'm not.
Nicole, I think you and I might have talked to you about writing an article or a blog post. So if you were to write not just I've got my CSEP and I think you should do it too, but the benefits that it's brought to you, and do that as an article in LinkedIn. I think we had talked maybe that you don't have a blog, and that's fine. That would meet that qualification. It's got to be something that is not just CSEP is awesome and you should do it, but what are the benefits that you get out of it, so that it's really helping people to understand why you did it. And if you can do that in the next, you could do it today or whenever you want to do it, that would get you that point as well.
Well, that's only going to be a half a point, so I need like 2.
2 of them.
Yeah.
So how many words does this need to be? Because there's only so many ways you can say, I'm glad I'm a CSEP.
So I would say you would want to do something that's in the neighborhood of maybe 250 words that talks about what motivated you to do it and what you feel you've gotten out of it.
And Corinne, could you maybe explain the points, the sustainability points that can be awarded around attending these kind of sessions?
Yeah, so there's, you can get like attending webinars, participating in webinars that have to do with CSP all count towards your points. Anybody who is involved in the exam redevelopment or the question writing or any activities towards that. There was a survey that went out. I don't know, Nicole, did you receive a survey in the fall? Because there's 2 points awarded. There was, I think, one in the fall and then one in the beginning of the year, and people were getting 2 points if you filled out that survey. Do you recall?
Maybe, but I also know that with the ILEA hub, my email has been kind of messed up all around, along with the Event Industry Council, because I have my CMP as well.
Yeah, we
So-
can maybe check with Brian. I don't know if we can. We must be able to look into who filled out the survey. So you might, if you filled out any survey, and it would have been sort of about, it would have had questions about like what sort of competencies are important to being a CSEP. If you recall anything like that, that was 2 points. And so then so it'll be things like that. Like that, those are the opportunities that will be created in terms of the exam redevelopment. And so there'll be a survey that comes out. It can be participating in different exam. It can be this. I mean, I'm assuming that this webinar counts. So, you know.
But what category would that fall under then? Because that's like exam development, exam grading, discussion group leader, speaking engagements about CSEP, CSEP ambassador, blog article.
It's a very good point.
Very good point. But it's supposed to be, I don't know if it's, it was attending webinars about it was, I would say it was part of it, would be part of the, I don't know. It should be good catch. I think
I personally, if I were filling it out, I would put it under the exam development.
Totally.
Because if you filled out that survey was used by the task force to help develop the questions and the exam itself.
Yeah, I just don't know if I got that, if it was still going to my BBW email address instead of my current company's.
Totally. Yeah. So then so I think, yeah, this is, I didn't realize it was missing on here, but yeah, like we did have like attending one. I don't know if this counts as a point. I mean, I think I would be happy to give you a point for being here today.
Yeah.
So you've helped with develop the recertification form. So here's your point.
There you go.
Having headquarters as well put out an exam redevelopment specific webinar every year. So Brian and Jody, I don't know if you guys have reached that yet. I'm guessing September, October, but every year headquarters will put out a webinar opportunity that'll be worth 2 points. So if you only need 2 points over 5 years, you'll be able to do that. But we're going to have that webinar that I believe is supposed to be an in-depth discussion about the new exam and how CSEPs can talk about that new exam to people that are interested in taking it, either in September or October, I think. But Brian, if you, or Jody, if you have the date of that, please share it.
We have not done that date yet.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's supposed to be coming before the deadline this year.
Nicole, as far as the deadline, you have until the end of November. So it's not November 1 that you have to have this done. So
I just read the article. It says get it in early because everybody else is going to send theirs in late. And mine's done except for this.
Yep. Well, you know what? So, you know, if there will be, we're working on those opportunities. Like we said, you know, the article would get you a half point. And if you want to work with Brian to see if we can figure out if you did respond to that survey or not, that would be, in fact, Brian, could you make that a note of follow-up? If I think he's see him on here, make that a note of follow-up, and then that might take care of it for you right there.
Yeah, and I think Nicole,
Brian, the link that you just sent in, it doesn't go anywhere.
Oh, the link that he just put in the chat didn't go anywhere. And
it looks like the exclamation mark got into the link. So.
Because we had the intention of awarding a point for those that attended this, just put it under, like, just kind of put an asterisk and say attended recertification webinar, and you can give yourself 1 point, and then we'll rectify this form right away.
Perfect, then I can apply next week.
Yeah, you should be able to, yeah. But I don't think, I think that 1 point per meeting would be what we were gearing for. Is that correct, Corrine? Or would there be, it would be 1 point per meeting, correct? Like if they were to do something like this webinar? Yeah, 1 point.
And we have it recorded, so Nicole.
Put a note, Nicole, and we'll make sure we know it.
You'll have all my stuff next week.
Okay.
When I go into the office and can scan all my stuff.
Nice. Any other questions about any of the sections then? So let's talk a little bit about becoming a CSEP ambassador and that ambassador program. And if anyone on the committee would like to step in, I can't remember who's leading that section. I thought it was Lindsay, but I don't believe she's on this call. Our ambassador program is all about just being an advocate for CSEP and sharing the, your expertise to those that are up and coming. I'm trying to unshare, and for some reason I can't stop share. There it is. I found the button. So typically we first approach people that are members of ILEA. But if you have an interest in becoming a voice or an advocate for the designation, you can reach out to me, and I'm going to stick my address in the chat for you. And we can give you some more information about what that program entails. It's about speaking engagements. It's about offering like a little bit of a, what's a CSEP and how do I get that designation? We provide you with the tools for that, and yeah, just basically recruiting people. Is that my address? I think it's .com.
And Jody, I can jump in too. I'm the Midwest region. I manage the Midwest region ambassador program, and really what I do is support the Midwest region ambassadors by sending them the information from our committee meetings, and then support them in getting that information out to the chapters. So you also, in doing that, you shouldn't just be feel like you should have to know everything yourself. It's a conduit to help us get the information out, and to also, like Jody said, to advocate for the CSEP program within the local chapter and the local industry. It's pretty easy. It's not too difficult, and it would include some speaking engagements. Like she said, we're working on a presentation. Several of the local chapters will be doing presentations coming up in September about CSEP. So if you see that at any of the chapters, I would suggest signing up. Most of the chapters are going to be offering it not just to membership, but to their broader mailing list. So it would be an opportunity to kind of see what the ambassadors are doing. I'll be working with the Minneapolis-St. Paul chapter ambassador to get her up to speed on it, and then just being available to answer questions in your local city and local market.
Thank you, Ruth. All right, so then let's move on to tips about how to make this work. I know when I did mine in November, same time as Alex did, we were certifying at the exact same time. I just went through and went to the ones that were the easiest to accumulate first of all, and then I did a little more digging. I started scanning and putting in a folder on my computer of everything that I needed, so I didn't have to spend a day scanning. I still spent a day scanning, but I at least had a little bit of time. I had some stuff already in play, so it was good. I'm very active in my ILEA chapter, and was able to get a lot of those sustainability points right away. And I've done a lot of speaking engagements about CSEP and then on other topics as well. I was the president of the local chapter 2 years, so I was able to get a lot of that stuff done. Yeah, but other than that, it was, yeah, taking pictures of things that, especially stuff that you lose. I kept the pictures of name tags and stuff, and I just filed them away. Agendas were hard to find to get the professional development points down, so I did that as well. Jen developed a really cool tips sheet that I can share with you. And Jen, if you want to go through that, and then we can just open the floor for everybody else to kind of share. Is that showing up? Did I not share it right?
There.
It came up. It was just slow.
Oh, did it? Oh, it was there?
Yeah, but on my end that it was slow.
Okay, there you go. So you want to walk us through that, Jen?
Sure. I would say most of all, like I mentioned before, when I got my CSEP, I got a little yellow like Pentaflex folder that they sent me with my certificate to save all my stuff and for recertification. And I had a store all box worth of stuff by the time I had my 5-year recertification point that first time. And like Jody, you were just saying, the scanning of all of it was nuts. And I swore never to do it that way again. I go digital with everything on it now. I set up every year as soon as I'm done, I just set up a new Dropbox folder, and I make a folder within there that lines up with every single section on the recertification application. And then as things come in, like the past few months, I was looking through it the other day, I've had 53 different professional education to continuing education webinars that I've sat in on the past few months. And as I would register for those or get the confirmation or thank you for attending of it, I just print it to a PDF and print it and save it right in that folder with the date and what it was, so that it's all automatically there and I don't have to go through and pull and try and find all this stuff when I need to recertify again. I just recertified last year at the end of 2019. I think the first time I recertified, it took me days of scanning. And I was fully admit trying to be an overachiever. I had like 90 something points and I think I gave up at 60. But last year, it was just, like Corrine said, going for the low hanging fruit and having all that stuff ready to go. I was done in 10, 15 minutes of getting it done and off its way. I think I made a little, and I'll drop it in the thing after I finish talking, but I made a little just like cheat sheet on my own, a little Excel spreadsheet that I track and just keep track of my points as I'm going along so that I know where I'm short or what areas that I need to get points for, how many more I need. I was looking at it this morning just because I was updating it for the new layout of the recertification application, and I had my 31 points already. And so I can take it up easy street for the next 4 years, but it was simple. It was great to have that kind of consistent check-in point so that I wasn't waiting until the end of 5 years going, oh crap, how do I put all this stuff together and what am I short in? But just being able to check in along the time and see where I am on things. I also do like a little recap sheet for each one of those Dropbox folders that I have my stuff in. So I usually just go into Word and like make a little subheader of what that section is, sustainability, and then I outline all the things that I have backup on there for, and just write how many points I think is assigned to each one, and then I roll that up into its individual PDF. So that there's a PDF with a recap and all the backup on each section. And then I end up taking all those and putting them into one giant PDF. And so then it bookmarks it all. And all you have to do when you're reviewing it is just go down to the section and see what points they have and how they're proving that backup for each of those points. But I would definitely suggest using that application as the template for how you're designing however you want to collect your recertification materials. I found my yellow folder the other day when I was cleaning out, and it was just like, I'm glad I'm not doing this anymore. But a Dropbox or a folder on your computer, whatever it is that you use, I would definitely say go the digital route on that. And then it makes it real simple to send that final link to headquarters when you have to recertify and renew. When I did mine last year, I think I got it in really early too. And it's like I had a gap of time. I knew it was due to expire in November. I had a gap of time where I was slow between some big events at work. And it was just like, you know what, let me get it done and get it early and just send it in so that you're not waiting till that November 30th or December 30th or whenever time starts to get crazier to try and rush and get something in. So getting it done, I think, prepped in advance and having it easy to go really made it simple. And again, like looking at that low-hanging fruit on things of, you know, you get 2 points just for writing your support of, you know, why you think the designation was valuable to you, you know, membership with ILEA and other organizations. I would say with this new recertification application as well, there is a like bonus points on ILEA related stuff. So like some of the, if you're involved in leadership positions or the awards categories this year, if you were nominated for an Esprit Award this past year, you get an extra like 0.25 points if it's an ILEA award versus an MPI award or whatever other organization. So keep track of all of those things because they'll add up quick. And I know it's always super intimidating to sit there and go, oh my gosh, how am I going to get through all these? But you know, plan on it, and just if you check in regularly and see how you're doing, it makes it a lot easier going into the next term. So even now, it's September tomorrow. I mean, you've got a couple of months before November for sure, but then also starting to think about what that next 5 years is going to be in lining things up so that it will be simple that time around too. I don't know if anybody has, if there was any other things that were in there. But yeah. If there's other questions or people have, I'm happy to answer anything.
Anybody else have any cool tips that worked for them as they were recertifying?
Just keep a binder.
I just dropped over in the chat if anybody wants to download it, my last recertification application, the PDF. And if you look at it, rather than having individual PDFs of every document, I actually took pictures as I went along. And it's organized similarly to what, you know, I use a similar process to what Jen does. I have everything as backup in an email folder for certification, but I start a Word document and I have it outlined by what needs to be in each category. And then as I complete them, I take a screenshot, I put the number of points. So I've got that. I put the date of the event or the activity, whatever it is. And it actually helped bring what probably would have been close to a 100-page document down to 44 because it's just photos. And if there's any question about it, the committee, we can make it bigger and we can see what's on there. But it just really, I took this format based on how the Minneapolis-St. Paul chapter also does their Spirit of Excellence entries. And looked at it of like, how could I condense this down, make it easy to read, and get all the information in there and keep it as a living document as I go. So very similar to the way Jen does it. I haven't put together a binder since my first recertification. And that way I don't have to print anything. It's all there and done. And then if I have anything that is printed out, I would scan it.
Any other questions or?
Yeah, real quick for the, since ILEA is a part of the Event Industry Council, they keep like all of our education like automatically filtering in for us when you have to do your CMP. And since you guys are partners with the Event Industry Council, is there any way that we can, because that always just gets uploaded every time education is happening.
That would be a Brian question.
Yeah, so we don't, we are a partner, but we don't have access to their database, so it would be a lot easier for us to have the documentation submitted from you.
And Nicole, I think on the EIC or on that website, you do have the ability to manually enter other education. It's not ideal, but if you wanted it all captured in one place, that would be a way to go about it as well.
Yeah, I upload my forms into that
Yeah.
one since it's taken care of. So when I'm done and have research for that, because I
Yeah.
research back-to-back years.
Yeah, especially if you're doing both recertifications, that would be the workaround for you, would be to put your ILEA information in there and then download that for the ILEA application.
Mhm.
So one of the questions Nan put in the chat is, what if there isn't a chapter close to you? So Nan, I'm just curious as to where you are. Where is your location?
I'm in Des Moines, and when I first certified, I had been going up to the Minneapolis meetings, but it's a 3-hour each way. So it's not really realistic to do that. So is there any plan for expanding chapters? For instance, a CSEP, nobody around here knows what it is. And so it doesn't carry a lot of weight as it does in other areas where people know what that means. Is there any plans to expand the organization and the CSCP?
So I'm wondering if Corinne or Jen can talk about how you start a new chapter and what that process looks like.
Well, I have looked into that. I did look into that several years ago, but because it's so new around this area that none of the event professionals were interested in doing it because nobody knew what it was. So is there, I guess what I'm asking is there an education plan to roll out nationwide that would kind of give people an idea of what this is? Because until then, there's no reason starting a chapter here because there's not an awareness of it.
And so one of the things that's happening now currently because of COVID-19 is that a lot of the offerings are done digitally. And then you can also get professional development through the Education Hub that is part of the membership perks. So there is a way that you can be engaged in a virtual format and a much easier way right now. But Jen, I noticed you muted and then I talked right as you were unmuting.
Yeah, I think part of, as we've gone through this exam overhaul and redesign, a big part of the focus is how we are developing that conversation to promote it externally instead of just, yes, in our industry, but also the people that are buying our work or the people that are hiring our CSEPs. How do we make them aware of what this designation is and why they should hire a CSEP? So that is happening. I don't have a timeline on it, but the conversations are happening for sure on that aspect of it. And I know the Board of Governors has seen that as a key focus point for promoting the exam. I would say too that, perfect opportunity for sustainability points there and, local business journal article about why people should be hiring CSEPs and what it means and why others that are doing that work in your area should all kind of level up and commit to a level of professionalism within the industry. So opportunity there too, and get some sustainability points while you're at it.
Well, and I think, Nan, you would be a great advocate, obviously, for people getting on our emailing list, just getting basic information. And also, I know you don't have a chapter there, but I'm sure I'm positive, because I'm part of that chapter, the Minneapolis-St. Paul chapter, programs that are going on and the communications that are coming out. Sometimes just getting people into that loop of communication is enough to start getting them excited. So again, to Jen's point, supporting through sustainability, and just recommending and sharing that information with whomever you come into contact on a regular basis helps us as well. And it's going to be meaningful to you in that, from you in that market.
I've got to say, the Minneapolis chapter was so welcoming that I could usually get away from work to go up at least once every couple of months, and I have made lifelong friends that we stay in touch with. But they were very, very welcoming. But it was just really hard to get an interest in this area because I was the only one in Iowa, so it was kind of hard to get that groundswell. But I will look into that again. Thanks.
Alex, were you part of the founding members in Edmonton?
Yes, as a matter of fact, I was.
And that was, I know it's quite a process, but do you have any ideas for Nan to get kind of interest going?
Getting interest going is kind of a funny thing. I just used my own story about how beneficial it was to have, God help me, letters after my name. It helped because clients would ask me, oh, what does that mean? And then I would get a chance to talk about the professional association and the level of commitment that goes into this job, that not just anybody can hang a shingle up and be a professional. I actually certified myself so I could be considered a professional. And people really bought into it. And the greatest thing for me was the fact, again, I could charge more money when they said, why are you so expensive? Well, I'm a professional. I'm a certified professional, and this is what I stand for. And that actually worked really well. It also helped that I was a teacher, so I could tell my students about it. So when they were coming out of it, it wasn't just their NATE certification. They could go on and get professional designation as well.
Thank you. Yeah.
No problem.
Well, we're coming up on 1 o'clock, and so we'll open it for questions. I can stay on for a few extra minutes if there are more questions, but I want to be respectful of everyone's time. So yeah, is there anything else specific that you'd like to talk about? Questions, comments?
I'm just going to leap in very quickly. Everybody go back and screenshot your Facebook page so you can put that in as part of the panel.
Oh yeah, it's a good idea.
Wake up, Jody, come on.
God, what's wrong with me? I have to stand up to do my screenshots though, which is dumb. There we go. So if there's nothing else, I'll just say thank you so much for the panelists that joined us today, the other committee members that joined us, and those of you that are recertifying. Again, if you have any questions or about the process, feel free to contact me. I think our contact information, we also have the CSEP Facebook page that you can connect us with. And if you have any colleagues that are interested in learning more about the designation or possibly sitting for the exam, we've created a new CSEP interested candidate page as well that we're posting specifically the development of the exams, and we're starting to build a marketing campaign around how to get some interest, so you can guide people there. Yeah, anything else I missed? Okay, well, thank you so much for joining us today, and yeah, lean into the virtual opportunities that we have right now, and you'll get your professional development like that. Thanks so much, everyone. Take care. Bye.